for Berlanga when he came into the scene. 16 KOs in his first 16 bouts, all of them in the first round. He has failed to record a KO in his last 4 fights. Let's get your take, Chris, and then we'll go to some comments here from the guys checking in. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to our guy Sean from Just Boxing checking in.
Yeah. No, for me, obviously, we were hoping to get something different from what we've seen the last couple of fights, but it's a lot of the same thing. I mean, obviously, you see some talent there in Berlanga, but he's just not putting, the 1, 2, 3, 4s together, and it's another disappointing performance. Obviously, he had a tough guy in Romer Angulo, tough veteran, strong puncher. We knew that this was going to be a tough test, but you almost feel like Berlanga does have enough to get him out, whether it's late, whether it's taking some chances, hitting more to the body, but a lot of that stuff isn't there. I mean, yes, he did box well, but como dicen, dejó pa deber. And like a lot of people said, a lot of disappointment there. That hype train, that 60 knockout ratio, that 60 knockouts streak that he had is just dwindling. And as the opposition gets better, the hype just, it goes down.
100%. And I think last week we sat here and we read some comments by the listeners, and some people even thought that Angulo could pull it off, against Berlanga. So I can't say that I am shocked that Berlanga didn't get the knockout. I think it was a great opportunity for him to show out, in front of his people. Puerto Rican Day weekend, but it was Berlanga's perfect chance to show out, especially with Sandor Saya's fight postponed or canceled. All eyes were on Berlanga, and once again, I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a little worried because it seems like his progress is moving at a very slow pace. Obviously, Angulo, rugged veteran. This is only his 3rd loss. His first loss was to Zurdo Ramirez. Second loss was to David Benavides. Obviously, 2 top names. And now he loses to Berlanga. But I don't know. I expected a little more from Berlanga, especially if he wants to be the headliner. He has big shoes to fill. Puerto Rico hasn't had a big name like that since Miguel Cotto. So he has big shoes to fill. At the moment, he's not filling not even half of those shoes, in my opinion. Big Bro says Sanders should headline every Puerto Rico Day main event from now on.
Damn. Oof.
Big Bro says he'll never win a title. Munguia whoops him. Woo.
Edgar, I gotta ask, how much?
Are we being too harsh on Berlanga?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. How much slack should we give? I mean, obviously, he's young. Young people will make mistakes. We were young ones too. So how much? I mean, but to the point of Xander, we met Xander. I've interviewed Xander, very mature kid, only 19 years old. So it's.
I'm not sure, man. I think a lot of the criticism he's receiving is because obviously there's very high standards for Puerto Rican fighters, right? And I don't mean to make it all about Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican boxers, but look, that's what they've made this. Puerto Rican Day Parade, Edgar Berlanga's headlining. He moved his camp to Puerto Rico. So it's all Puerto Rico right now. And obviously those fans have very high standards. The bar is very high. The guys like Tito and Cotto set the bar very high. And I feel like that's why he's receiving all the criticism. But I agree. I think with that comes a lot of responsibility. And Sandor Saya seems to take those maybe a little more serious than Edgar Berlanga does. But we'll see. We'll see where they end up. Obviously, both very exciting prospects. If I had to bet for who would get a title first or who would win more titles, I think no brainer. I think all of us here would say Sandor Zayas.
In basketball terms, we say, who would you like to build your team around? In this case, who would you like to build your company around? A Xander or a Berlanga?
Whew. Well, I mean, look, Berlanga, it's interesting because he's he's like the Tracy McGrady in my opinion. This guy's gonna get you the KOs. He's gonna sell tickets. Um, some of his wins may be more spectacular than Xander, but if you want to win championships, it's got to be Xander. To me, Xander is more of the two-way player. You know, to continue using basketball terms. Berlanga is the guy who can put up 30, 35, 40 and not play much defense or not pass the ball much. So I would have to say Xander. I have to say Xander. And I want to go to an interesting comment here by Sean from Just Boxing, the Just Boxing Foundation. He says boxing scene reported a 60-day suspension and $10,000 fine. I haven't seen that confirmed by the NYSAC though.